We talking about some fucking nerd shit right now. Hold up, man. Cause hold up. Alright. Man. Alright, so we gonna talk about this first. Cause D23 just passed. But before we talk about D23, right? X-Men 97 just dropped the finale. I ain't really talking about X-Men. I mean, I kind of talked about X-Men in the pod, but just to give like a recap, right? X-Men 97 has been fire. Obviously, at the end of the first season, all the X-Men were split into different time frames. They went to the future, some went to the past, and a couple people stayed present or whatever, right? So it opens up where you have X-Men that were stuck in the future dealing with the shit with Apocalypse. And then you had X-Men in the past in ancient Egyptian times dealing with Apocalypse origin. And then you had like Cable and some of the remaining X-Men create X-Factor that was in the present, right? So as the story has been going on, Apocalypse has been the big bad, right? And the first 4 episodes is crazy because it's catching you up on what the characters are doing, and by the time episode 4 is over with, everyone's back into the present, right? And the character building has been really good, right? Because some of these episodes felt random, but they center around certain characters, right? So that episode with Wolverine where he goes to get his adamantium back, it was centered around Wolverine and Morph and like the other, the other Weapon X characters and some shit like that. But it was almost like it came off like a video game, almost like horror movie type thing, because they're dealing with these alien bugs, and then all of a sudden Omega Red is there, and there's a big ass boss fight, and then Wolverine turns into a fucking monster. Then they do something. He comes back, and then he fight. It's all this. It was a fire ass episode, right? Kind of made me think of the Alien movie for some reason, like the dark, in a enclosed area type shit, whatever. Then there was the episode with which was fire. I don't know if this is the next episode specifically, but the episode with Polaris, and that's Magneto's daughter, and she's dealing with like she doesn't fuck with her dad because she didn't have a relationship with her dad, right? And Professor X, he's grieving with Magneto's death because he witnessed Magneto die in front of him. The episode was dope because she's kind of like, all right, well, I'm not interested in going, because he was like, I should come with me to Genosha, which is the island that Magneto had made for mutants to go and be free or whatever. And I think in that same episode, the fucking what's it called, the Danger Room, that bitch was tripping, which literally, oh my god, it's crazy because like the episode, the actual Danger Room is like, it's conditioned to train the X-Men, right? And Professor X, I guess, was going really hard. He kept replaying the same scene over and over of like Apocalypse killing Magneto in front of him, and I guess trying to see if there's anything that he could have done or whatever the case may be. So I guess the Danger Room starts tripping and gaining its own like consciousness or whatever, right? So the Danger Room tried to like entrap all the kids that were fucking training in there and try to kill them, and they had to do some wild shit to like, they had to fight for their lives to make sure that the Danger Room didn't kill them inside the house or whatnot. Then the Danger Room gains its own consciousness and creates its own body, and then takes off to Genosha to go fight Professor X. And so, which is crazy. So then Professor X and Cyclops and Jean Grey and Beast are fighting fucking the Danger Room AI robot. Then Polaris fucking that was a cool moment too, where Polaris I forgot what exactly took place, but her and Charles and Professor X they did something together, and she was able to feel, or like experience Magneto through Professor X's mind. So it gave her some type of like clarity or some type of like closure to, I guess, not having that relationship. But that in combination, they ended up destroying the fucking the Danger Room robot, which is, again, that was a cool ass concept. I'm not gonna lie, and I guess I didn't realize it was like a real character, because the Danger Room character, she's in the Tokon Souls game. I got it, by the way. I'm gonna eventually drop some content of playing the game. The game is fire. I bought it by accident though. I'll say that in a little bit. So boom, and then there's another episode where I think the episode after that is was it X? There's like another group of mutants that they beefing with everyone's beefing with the X-Men this season. I don't know what's going on. Nobody fucks with Professor X and them. They beefing. But I think they kidnapped. Who did they kidnap? They kidnapped Rogue, I believe. I might be mistaken. I don't know if it was Rogue. They kidnapped one of the mutants, and no, I lied. All right, so I forgot Brett's name, right? But Nightcrawler and Rogue's mother is Mystique, and Mystique also had a son with Sabretooth. I forgot the guy's name, but he don't fuck with mutants. He's on that same type of timing like William Metzger or the other dude that did the Weapon X project, where he don't fuck with mutants. He's trying to get everyone killed or whatever the case may be. So this other group of mutants that Excalibur, I believe their name was, they captured him, and I think they was about to execute him or do whatever, right? So Nightcrawler is an ill ass character to me. I like what Nightcrawler looks like a demon, but he's super religious. He's like, in the comics, he's a Christian. He's very devoted to his faith, which ties into the ending, which we're gonna talk about in a little bit. So he goes there and he's like, listen, like, I that's my brother. He's like, I believe that, I have faith that he can change or whatever the case may be. So it becomes this thing where they go to trial, like they have like a trial inside the place or whatever. And then, just like everything, the shit didn't work out and everyone start fighting and stuff like that. It was in the Savage Lands. That was kind of fire. And then at the end of the episode, he saves his brother, but he leaves him out in like the wilderness or some shit. Because even though he went to go save his brother still tried to kill him because he hates him. But you kind of get context for why his brother is the way he is or whatnot. Then I think the cliffhanger of that episode was Apocalypse revived Gambit. And if y'all don't know this, spoiler. I mean, this whole thing's been a spoiler, but Gambit, like one of the best episodes of season 1 was Remember It, right? And that's when Gambit sacrifices his life to make sure that the mutants are safe, like that the people, the Genosha massacre, like that some of the mutants save or whatever, right? And it was a sad scene because he during that episode or like right before the episode, there's like a tension because like he's in love with Rogue, but Rogue is with Magneto because they could actually have a physical relationship because her hands, if she touches him physically, she can kill him because of her powers or whatever, how her powers work. So Rogue witnesses like the love of her life die and shit like that, right? So that shit fucked her up. So it was crazy because then in this episode you see that they that at the end of the episode you see that Gambit is revived, right? So I forgot what happens in the next episode, but I think the next episode, which is I think episode 8, is where X Factor, which is Cable's group and stuff like that, they pull up to they found Apocalypse's body fucking just like dead, and he's like, what the fuck, why is Apocalypse's body, like, he died, right? They pull up to the X Mansion, and to the new X-Men headquarters or whatever, and show them Apocalypse's body, and they're like, "Yo, what happened?" And it's like, "Well, no, but this was left." And they show a card, and it's Gambit's card, right? They they're like, "Oh, is Gambit like? Oh, Remy's alive? Oh shit!" So Professor X locates Gambit, and Professor X locates Gambit, finds finds him in New Orleans or whatever, right? That's where Gambit's from. So they pull up to New Orleans to go they pull up to New Orleans to go find Gambit, right? The person to find Gambit is Rogue. Um how did it go? Um it's interesting cuz they Gambit went there specifically cuz he's taken over by like Apocalypse, right? Like he became one of the horsemen or whatever the case may be. So he's like tainted with Apocalypse's whatever. But Apocalypse, come to find out, his spirit or his essence is inside of Gambit, right? So, um, he he went there specifically because there's another deity that's in that's captured in New Orleans that Apocalypse gave a piece of his power to her, right? And he went there specifically to take it back. It's a fucking crazy ass scene. It's a crazy ass episode because you see this like goddess come out the water, and she's like, oh, you're not gonna kill me or whatever the case may be, and all this. I'm butchering exactly what happens, but there's an ill ass fight that takes place where like the X-Men and X Factor they're disagreeing on what to do because they're trying to save Gambit, right? They're like, all right, Gambit is in there, but Apocalypse turned him to a horseman, so he's like tainted. They didn't realize that Apocalypse is inside of Gambit. So when Professor X goes into Gambit's mind, he sees Apocalypse, and so as all this is like happening and whatnot, um, as all this is happening and whatnot, um they they literally fight, whatever, they start fighting because Cable's like, nah, we're killing, he gotta go, like I'm killing Gambit, I'm sorry, bro, like that's just, we can't let this man live. And Professor X like, nah, hold up, wait, give me a chance, we gotta save him. So it's an ill fight that takes place between everybody, and it's wild too. This man Nightcrawler, look, he soloed everybody. His teleportation power, but he was whooping everybody. Anyways, the episode ends with eventually Professor X overpowers Apocalypse with the help of Rogue or something. Like Rogue was a piece of, helped pull Gambit's spirit into the forefront, right? But the problem is that Apocalypse is still trapped inside of Gambit. So so at the end of the episode, I forgot the lady's name, but she don't fuck with Professor X either. So she teams up with X Factor and X Force team up together. They're gonna team up together so they can go kill Gambit, because they're like, nah, the X-Men is bullshit, and like they're gonna fuck around and cause the real apocalypse to happen because they don't want to kill Gambit. So the ending of the last episode, they fuck around and it's like a big ass fight between X Factor and X Force versus the X-Men, right? Because they're trying to keep Gambit alive, and trying to figure out what they can do to pull Apocalypse out, without killing Gambit or whatnot. And so what the fuck happens? So they pull up in their ship, and then they're fucking attacking the building. They're having the big ass, everyone's fighting, right? I ain't gonna lie, the fight between Cable with his parents, with Jean and Scott, that was kind of cold, because they don't want to fight. Like, yo, you're my, like, listen, son, like, this ain't the right way to go about it. And he's like, man, sorry, I'm this ain't go, you know what I mean? This gotta happen. We gotta kill him. Gambit ends up waking up, and I forgot how. Damn, I wish I should have watched the episode fresh so I could kind of get you out truth. But there's a part where, like, everyone's fighting, the shit gets the everything becomes, like, everyone is fighting, but there's Cable gets his chance to shoot Gambit in the head, and everyone's like, no, and he blasts him, right? So it looks like Gambit dies. So then when they're like, all right, it's over. Gambit gets back up, and then he gets consumed with like the spirit of Apocalypse. I guess him dying brought Apocalypse back out, and then Gambit looks like a Apocalypse version of Gambit. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't too much of a fan of the design, but it was hard as fuck. And he, you know what I'm saying? It's Apocalypse, so he not playing with nobody. At the same time, while all this was happening, Rogue and Beast had went to the ship that initially turned Apocalypse into the version that he is, right? So when she walked into that same room that Apocalypse walked into, she spoke to a Celestial, which is what gave Apocalypse his power. And she's negotiating with the Celestial, like she's like, I'm trying to, you know, I wanna save my friend. And the Celestial's like, what are you willing to give up to save what are you willing to give up to save Gambit? She's like, I'm willing to give her anything. So the Celestial negotiate, like, all right, I'm gonna give you the power to save your friend, but you have to sacrifice your life for it. Kind of like the Soul Stone in fucking in Infinity War, where they had to sacrifice, someone had to die to gain the Infinity Stone. It was kind of the same thing. So like so at the end, when Rogue comes, she got like the Celestial tech on her. She whooped Gambit and then saves him pretty much, like kills Apocalypse and saves Gambit, right? And then you're expecting like, oh shit, she's about to die. He's like, oh, what did you give up? Like, he's like, oh, I gave I gave my life to save yours or whatever. So then when that, after she saves him and like the Celestial tech like disappears, because what she did was she put Apocalypse in like this little crystal thing. So like, yeah, he'll be back. They didn't kill him. They just put him he trapped in a freaking crystal or something. But then she doesn't die. So they're like, wait, what happened? And then I forgot, I think it was Beast made like a face or whatever, and then the next scene you see Nightcrawler looking at the Celestial, and the Celestial's like, why are you willing to risk your life? He's like, oh, I believe because they'll be able to live a happier, everyone is going to be able to live a happier life and be whatever. And the Celestial's, how do you know? He's like, oh, because I have faith. And it's like, damn, that was powerful. Like, bro, he risked this, he sacrificed his own life so his sister could live, because she was essentially throwing her life away to save the person that she loves with. But the tragedy is, all right, well, now he just died, brought back to life, and now she's gonna kill herself so he could live. So it's almost like knowing they don't get their happy ending. So he was willing to throw his, to sacrifice his life to make sure that his sister got that happy ending that she always wanted with the person that she loved with. So I'm like, oh, that was a powerful ass scene. I was like, oh, that's dope. That was really good writing. And then there's like a post-credit. It's crazy how Marvel cartoons have post-credit scenes. So the post-credit scene was Mystique popping out, and I think it was a senator or some lady in politics or whatever, right? She's undercover as her, like looking in the computer or whatever, and then the real lady walks in the room. She's like, what the fuck? Mystique shoots her, and then he reveals that it's her, and you're like, whoa, hold up, Mystique. We haven't seen her in the reboot of the X-Men 97 series, so it was like, oh, all right, so she's gonna be like one of the protagonists of whatever season 3 is. I'm like, oh, I'm excited to see where they take that, because these first 2 seasons were really like, the first season was kind of traditional X-Men or whatever, even though it had like a big ending where it was like world ending type shit, and then this one was like dealing with the future and the past and apocalypse and stuff or whatever. So I think it's the third season is gonna be more like traditional X-Men doing X-Men shit versus like all the I don't know, not esoteric, that's not what I'm looking for, but like they doing these big, it's not multiverse, but it's like time traveling and stuff like that. That's been such a factor of this last season. So I don't know, I'm excited. The X-Men 97 was really good. I think this season was dope. I wonder what season 3 looks like, because I think the dude who originally wrote the first 2 seasons, they had let him go for whatever the case may be. So I and I know there's more people involved or whatever, but I hope they do justice to X-Men 97 season 3. I really want to see where they take it. And this was random too, but during the fight when they was when they was having the fight inside where all the X-Men and when X-Men was fighting X-Force and was X-Men was fighting X-Force, there was a scene where Wolverine was fighting Psylocke and Wolverine and Morph was fighting Psylocke, and who's the other person? I forgot who else it was fighting, but Morph turned into Dr. Octopus, right? And I was like, oh, this hard. I'm like, they gotta make a Spider-Man like 98 or what, I don't know what it would be called. They gotta make a Spider-Man version, like how they made X-Men 97. They gotta do Spider-Man 1 and continue that story from the Spider-Man animated series, because it will go crazy right now, especially seeing what they did with X-Men 97 and how they're even like, you see the costumes now, they went into like the black and yellow costumes from like the 2000 comic books. I was like, oh, see, they're taking the creative luxuries and adding all these different things that they are nuanced things that they wouldn't have done in like the old animated series. So I'm excited to see where they go with season 3, but I'm also excited that I'm like, oh, they're giving us hope that we might get a Spider-Man, like a Spider-Man animated series from the 90s and get a revamp. Man, that would be so hard. We got to see how Mary Jane comes back. We gotta there's plot threads that weren't resolved. They can introduce Miles, like, you know, they could do all type of stuff that you wouldn't have expected or didn't even exist at the time. So I really hope they do something with that.